Alrighty, y'all. It is Monday, June the 16th, and I didn't post this last night. I wanted to see what happened this morning before I did a podcast episode, so here we go. My darlings, I hope we still have our eye on the prize because they are absolutely going to continue inflaming the whole Civil War situation so they can keep sneaking by things like, creating a new military attachment branch. I don't know the correct terminology for it, that is specifically going to be comprised of tech bro CEOs that will be brought on as lieutenant colonels or whatever the title is. And it's the separate division literally being made just so they can bring in Planeteer, etc. Give them military titles and give them access to all things military so that the tech bros can decide what's going on with the military. That's what they're doing right now. So yes, that's one of the things they're distracting you from. There's also the big beautiful bill that they're still picking apart. There's the fact that they said that Muscatino was on heavy drugs while he was making decisions at Doge, but they're actively working to codify those drug-fueled decisions because I don't know why because. Okay, so yes, meanwhile, they are flooding your feeds with God is King. And what did your protest to? Dems are just throwing a tantrum again, but daddy's still daddy. Go buy daddy a Father's Day card because he's still your daddy and he's still the president, which is the weirdest one of all. The weirdest one of all is go get Daddy Trump a birthday card because he's still your Like, what is wrong? No, don't answer the question. We know what's wrong with them. And those people are now also posting that if you're not one of them, then you have a mental illness. Do you have empathy? That's toxic. Do you not like their authoritarian king? Well, you just have derangement syndrome and you have a mental illness if you don't like what's going on. They're still holding on to Biden. I'd rather have him than Biden. Biden's not in the picture anymore. Biden will never be in the picture again. They still can't let that go. All right? Listen, here's a reminder, darling, that these apps are filled with millions of fake profiles. That's why you're seeing videos of dudes talking about, yeah, I love daddy for life. And the video has 10,000 likes and you go back and there's 18 followers on that account and 2 videos that have been posted. That is them pushing their own propaganda. Keep this in mind. It doesn't go anywhere unless they push it. All right, that's why it's on your feed when you don't follow any of that shit. Now, to help you, darling, don't engage with it. I know it's tempting. They're so stupid and they put it out there, and that's part of the strategy, right? You're tempted to reply and comment on the stupidity, which just furthers the content. So what you need to do is be like them and swarm it. Report it, especially when it's people pretending to run over other humans as speed bumps. Report that shit, okay? When they're projecting that there were millions of people in DC when it's been reported that was completely untrue, report it, okay? When they are advertising their you-know-what speech and their behavior, okay? Report it. When they lie about the alleged assassin, the suspect, whatever you want to call it, and how he was definitely somehow a Democrat, report it. That's already been disproven as fake and misinformation. You need to get like them, okay? Match energy. Don't go into the comments and ratio that. I mean, I know it's funny. And for some folks, my comment warrior folks, do what you got to do. But for the rest of us, don't be tempted into engaging. Just report it. Report it and mute the account. Block every single one that pops up on your feed. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And as it keeps coming into your feed, you will realize exactly how many millions of these are out there and how all they do is repeat red hat talking points and feed into whatever the distraction du jour is. So while they're cracking down on blue cities to punish us for having a massively successful 13 million, we're at 13 million now. I don't know if you heard. 13 million people. That's why you're seeing videos saying they had their little protest. It was so cute. 13 million people. Yeah. And other folks are now putting more dots together of if that many people went out in the streets, were willing to actively go out in the streets, not only are we hitting that 3.5% number, but more and more people are going, no way those results were real. No way we're seeing this kind of movement against this guy. And that was real. Now, that's separate from the court case in New York, which they are also trying to distract you from so that you don't pay attention to the fact they're in here going, so what if it was stolen? So what? What are you going to do? Not going to change anything. He's still daddy. You know, their favorite thing, daddy. So it's always daddy, daddy, daddy DeSantis, daddy Trump, daddy Musk, daddy everything. They want everyone to be their daddy. Very, very straight. The amount of men sitting up there with no shirts and hats on talking about he's still yo daddy. Sir, all right, you don't need to let us all know that you activate on Grindr. We know, we can tell. It's all right. Okay. These people were driving into the crowds with children in their cars on purpose so that they could run through and be nasty. And if anyone approached the car, they would just roll down the back window and go, see, I have kids. You can't say anything because I brought kids with me. They're doing what Izzy did. You know, they put all of their military stuff and infused it around civilian areas so that in order to hit something of importance, you also have to take out people. And then they go and look, see, Iran is taking out innocent civilians. No, you did that. You set it up that way. That's what the Red Hats are doing. They're putting their kids in the car, instigating, and then going, how dare you talk back when I have children? You're putting children in danger if you want to speak back about what I'm doing. It's never them. It's not their fault for putting their kids in the car and bringing them there. It's your fault for reacting when they brought their kids. How dare you? Human shields. Okay? Just like the one who was wearing a human shield on his neck for half of the campaign. All right? That is them. That is their culture. Okay? Their culture. You're seeing the videos? They popped up with bats. They showed up and sprayed people. They showed up and sent exhaust in people's faces. They threatened folks. And again, a lot of people, this shade talking about get out of our country and go home. Darling, if you are anywhere near this side of the line and you think that you belong here, that you're indigenous to America, and I love the back up thoughts, right? Well, my ancestors came here the legal way and you snuck in. Did they? You sure about that? You sure about that? So you think it's okay because your immigration status was further back. It was your ancestors that migrated a long time ago, before there was a real process, when this was just a place where you sent criminals and people so zealous that they couldn't stand being in England anymore. That's it. That's who's here. Okay? People who are running from their problems and criminals and religious zealots. That's who's here. And the descendants of those people are going to folks that are brown, the folks that were brought here to do the work for them, or the folks that they displaced and moved into other areas, going, you don't belong here, we do. This is white land. This is Jesus land, where Jesus is not from here. Not from here. America's not in the Bible. So you can check that one off your list, okay? And no, this color is not indigenous to this land. The persons indigenous to this land are closer to my shade than this one, all right? And they try to wipe that out too and pretend that doesn't exist and pretend that only this has always been a white land. America's what, 200, 250, 300 years old, whatever it is, okay? Always been a white land in their very microscopic goldfish level memories. And you have an entire political party, an entire religion trying to enforce the lie that this is the white land of Jesus. Okay? All right? Like they don't have their own continents and countries that they could go to. They want this one here. So stay focused as they try to demoralize us with their bullshit comebacks that are really just weak sauce, and pay attention to what they are trying to push through while encouraging the violence of red hats against American citizens, while encouraging, cheering to waste taxpayer dollars to send the Marines and the National Guard to blue cities because their leaders aren't complying. States' rights only matter to the red states, and the blue states better get in line. We are sending the military in there to show them the what for. And they're using the disguise of immigration when they've already said it has nothing to do with immigration. They're not looking for immigrants. They just want to threaten people in blue cities for as long as they can get away with it. So don't forget, darling, that when we challenge these people in court, they lose. They lose. All the flashbang is to try to demoralize you because they see that we have the numbers and they know that they're on borrowed time. So keep going. Keep going.